Hey guys, welcome. My name's Alex. I am going to show you the books that I picked up for my birthday this past weekend. We had a fun little Barnes& and Noble challenge and then just like a free for all book shopping trip, I guess, today. Just myself. I took my time. This is basically just like a no limit book shopping trip. It was honestly so much fun. I definitely have a lot of books uh, to keep me occupied for a while. I don't know if you can hear in the background that Hachi's playing with his toy. It's like a perfect bookish day, like gloomy and misty outside. So let's just get into it. I'm really excited. Good boy. And there they go. Oh, goodness. I don't know if that's going to stay there, so I'm just going to move them over here. We will start out with a little challenge that my husband did for me. I had 5 minutes to pick whatever I wanted as long as I could carry it in one hand. There was no I wasn't allowed to balance the stack of books. I wasn't allowed to readjust the stack of books, anything like that. So I literally had to go in with a plan to know exactly where I was going to go. I didn't want to just pick up a book to pick up a book. I wanted to buy books that I know that I'm going to actually want to read, things that have been in the back of my mind, or those books that you always pick up and you carry around at the bookstore and then you always end up putting them back and you said I'll get it next time. Those are the books that I wanted to get. We'll just start with the first one. So this one actually is a book that I have seen around recently. I believe it's a new release. Honestly, the cover is just stunning. I had this in my Amazon cart for a while, and it's just one of those that I know that I will love to read this, but not super high on my priority list, or just one that I know I have to be in the mood for. I'm not going to read the synopsis for all these because one, that'll take forever, and two, you've probably seen all these. I'll just kind of read a small blurb. The first book in an enthralling new fantasy series about murder, magic, and madness in post World War II London. So that just sounds really cool to me. And just this cover is just really cool looking, right? I took a little convincing for that one. The second I got is Lightfall by Ed Croker. This is a vampire book. I am not sure how I feel about vampires. If it's an actually well done vampire novel like Empire of the Vampire by J. Kristoff, that is one of my holy grail series is Empire of the Vampire. This, I'm not sure. I have some other vampire books on my TBR that I haven't gotten to yet, just because some, they're hit or miss for me. It says a bloody good vampire book with a compelling mystery at its core. Fans of J. Kristoff will eat this up. So that's why I picked it up. But it is beautiful also. You will see a trend in here that I do pick up books that I think are beautiful. I will grab them and I'll look at them and then I'll read and see if it's something that I feel like I'll like, or if it's an author that I have read before and really liked, like TJ Klune. I just really need little convincing. As long as I know kind of the preface, then I'll pick it up. So this is The Bones Beneath My Skin by TJ Klune. When I was reading the synopsis, it really just felt like kind of a heartfelt, finding yourself type of story. I read The House in the Cerulean Sea. That was one of my favorite books last year. Cozy and homey and makes you think and ponder ponder things. That one in particular was just so sweet. In the spring of 1995, Nate Cartwright has lost everything. His parents are dead. His only brother wants nothing to do with him, and he's been fired from his job as a journalist in Washington, D.C. This sounds kind of familiar. With nothing left to lose, he returns to his family's summer cabin outside the small mountain town of Roseland, Oregon, to try to find some sense of direction. The cabin should be empty, but it's not. That just sounds fun. Okay, and then I got this edition of Wuthering Heights. I do have another edition of Wuthering Heights up there somewhere. I have been wanting to read this for, I don't know, probably probably about a year now. I have such high hopes for this book, and definitely a 5-star prediction, probably going to be one of my favorite classics that I have read once I get to it. The edition that I have right now, though, the words are super tiny, and then these are like just really good, like word size and margins. It's just like a good size book, you know. And also, it's just beautiful. So I just wanted to get one that I am more likely to pick up, just because I can't read small font. One, I get chronic migraines. I also am supposed to be wearing reading glasses, and I just don't. And so it's nice to have a book that like has good size text. So the next one I got, I have been seeing at Barnes and Noble every single time I go in. Every single time. This is one of those books that like I will carry around the store and I'll always put it back and I won't buy it. It's just okay. So the cover's stunning. That's why I first picked up the book. And then the review on the front, Nicholas Eames, author of Kings of the Wild, which if you know, you know. This says deliciously inventive, brimming with ancient evils, fallen empires, mysterious technology, and devastating magic, which just sounds so good. And then also, just like the picture of the guy standing on the hand, like the stone hand, like that's just so cool. And the words are huge. So I'm really excited about this one. Like this one, I think I'm gonna get to soon, I hope. Okay, so this is the next one I picked up. This Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne. I just recently got Shadow of the Gods off of Pango, and I already know I'm gonna love this. I actually started the audiobook of Shadow of the Gods like 2 years ago and ended up not finishing it. Like I ended up stopped listening to it because it's just, you could tell it was like one of those books that I really needed to read in person. I really just needed to like dive in. So yeah, so I went ahead and just picked up the second one because I knew I was already going to read it. There's no way I wasn't going to read it. Jay Kristoff literally reviewed on the front. It says visceral, heartbreaking, unputdownable, which is like such high praise. Robin Hobb reviewed, Mark Lawrence. Yeah, so many. So I'm very excited about this. It is now a completed trilogy, I believe. So I can just like fly through that series. I'm very excited. There's actually something in my hair. I just realized it's been there this whole time, hasn't it? So next book. So this is the book that I ended up trading. So I traded 3 books that I had already picked up and picked this one up instead. It's Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. It's just a really interesting cover. I mean, I don't think it's like a serious book. I'm pretty sure it's like more of a comedy style book, but I don't actually know. I'm trying not to read. This is one of the books I kind of want to go in blind, so I'm trying not to like read too much about it. But so it says, there's power in a book. They call them wayward girls, loose girls, girls who grow up too fast, and they're sent to the Wellwood House in St. Augustine, Florida, where unwed mothers are hidden by their families to have their babies in secret, to give them up for adoption, and most important of all, to forget any of it ever happened. That sounds interesting. I think that kind of makes you remember a little bit more, but yeah. So this is the one that I swapped. I had picked up like 3 others and put those back and picked that one up. And I'm very excited about that one. I've had that one on my list since before it was published. Okay, so those are all the books that I got during my little 5-minute challenge. And I really wish that we would have like taken a video of it. It was really fun. But these are it. 7 books. And all of them I'm like really excited about. So I think the whole like extending the time to 5 minutes versus like 2 minutes or 3 minutes really did me well because I was able to pick the books that I really wanted. Okay, now we'll get into the books that I picked up this morning. So, like I said, these are books that I have been wanting to get for a while, books that have been on my TBR in here for a hot minute, and I just couldn't carry them all, and I couldn't find them all in time. We'll start with this one, Hamnet, by Maggie O'Farrell. If you've been around BookTube or whatever for a while, I'm sure you've seen this. It's basically a fictional story of, I believe, Hamlet. No, it's not Hamlet. Hamlet? Not Shakespeare. I don't know. I don't know really any of that history, but what I do know is that this book has gotten fabulous reviews. I just heard that it's like really heartfelt, really moving, really touching story. I am just like in the mood for those kind of books right now. So Hamnet, that is the first one I grabbed today. This one I have had my eye on for a while. Originally it was a cover grab. I actually saw on my way out of Barnes after I checked out, and I saw it at the front table, and I had just missed it on my way in, and I was so close to like literally grabbing the book and paying for it again, like going through the checkout line again, but I thought that would be a little crazy. So Lud in the Mist, or Lude in the Mist, I'm not sure, by Hope Mirrlees, and then an introduction by Catherine Arden. Catherine Arden is one of my favorite authors from last year, I think. The Bear and the Nightingale. I read The Bear and the Nightingale last year and read the second book this year and loved it. And so yeah, so the cover is just absolutely stunning. I love this like older style, like floral, like magazine almost type of cover, and the words are nice and big. It's like a really like, I don't know, like heavy duty kind of book. And I believe what I've gotten from the synopsis is that it's a classic that was like rediscovered or something. It says, a dark and enchanting rediscovered classic, Lude in the Mist, follows Nathaniel Chanticleer, the respectable mayor of the town Lude in the Mist, on a quest to bring his children back from fairyland. I don't know, it just sounds fun and it's beautiful, so that one was an easy buy. Moving on. I grabbed the Penlopiad, I believe is how you say it, by Margaret Atwood. I read The Handmaid's Tale recently and absolutely ate that book up. I read it in a day and it left me with so much to think about. Truly, Margaret Atwood, just like her writing, just engrossed me. It kept me just like wanting to continue, kept me like on the edge of my seat. And The Handmaid's Tale just covers so many important topics for women to think about. It says, Penelope, immortalized in legend and myth as the devoted wife of the glorious Odysseus, silently weaving and unpicking and weaving again as she waits for her husband's return. Now Penelope wanders the underworld, spinning a different kind of thread, her own side of the story, a tale of lust, greed, and murder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try and read everything by Margaret Atwood. She's just such an amazing author. Just like her writing style was just so captivating, truly. I wish you could see Hachi right now. He looks so cute. Do you guys have dogs? I'm obsessed with my dog. That's him. Ready for WALK soon. So that'll be our next thing of the day. Here he comes. Hey, buddy. Okay. Next book is The Stranger by Albert Camus, I believe. I actually have this book already. Thrifted a copy of this, but it was like it's in pretty bad shape. It's just not in good shape. So I ended up getting a new copy of it. I also like this cover a lot more than the other one. It's so dang cute. So yeah, so this is The Stranger. This is a classic. Oh, it doesn't say, does it? I thought there was a synopsis on the back. I guess there's not. This is basically a mystery book, I believe. This guy like walks up on a dead body on a beach, and it goes from there. So yeah, this is one of the classics that I've been wanting to read since I got back into reading a few years ago, and it's short. It sounds interesting. I've heard some good reviews on it, so that's on the list of classics that I do want to read this year. We'll continue with the classics. I grabbed Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I bought this because I recently read The Wedding People and loved that book. I'm not, well, I guess I'm kind of like an everything reader, but I kind of dabble in all genres, clearly. But The Wedding People, the main female character, reads Mrs. Dalloway and just like does a lot of like connecting her life to Mrs. Dalloway's life, and like does a lot of like cross I don't know the right words, but she basically reads the book and has a lot of can relate a lot to Virginia Woolf, like the quotes and stuff they were talking about in The Wedding People really made me interested in this book and Virginia Woolf specifically, her story and her writing. So I figured this would be the first one I would start with. It's also a shorter one. So I just figured it'd be like an easier one to start with. Also, like today, like you saw the books that I picked up on the 5-minute challenge, they were thick. These are super thin. So like it felt not so bad to be buying so many books because they were like smaller. And then the last book that I got is Demon Copperhead. This book has been around for a minute. It won the Pulitzer Prize. I really wanted to find the hardback, but they only had, why do I want to say softback? Basically, this book won a bunch of awards, has had so much high acclaim. That's why I picked it up. Something that I've been trying to do recently is reading literary fiction books that have won prizes or just like have really great reviews, because there were a couple lit books that I had picked up in the beginning of my like getting back into reading that just weren't like good or didn't really like align with like my taste and kind of put me off the whole lit fic genre. I want to be able to explore and I want to be able to like dip my toe in like many waters and like be well versed. And so I've been trying to pick up books like this or The Wedding People that are lit fic but have won prizes or awards or whatever. Doesn't mean that they're going to be good or that I'm going to enjoy them, but there's a reason why other people are recommending these books. But yeah, so long story short, that's why I picked this up. Just like the one thing that like I've kind of come to terms with, I'm not going to like every book that I buy, you know, and like that's totally okay. As a reader, our responsibility is to read books that like we want to read, not because they are popular or other people like them. Doesn't mean that like we have to like them, because reading is so subjective. That's one of the reasons why I love it, is I can read this Demon Copperhead book and absolutely love it. And like my best friend, like she'll read it and she might absolutely hate it. It's just different tastes. And I just like love that about reading. It's just so unique to everybody individually. And it's never going to be the same experience for every person. Anyways, and then the last thing that I got wasn't a book. It's actually a journal. I got this because my husband and I just recently went to Big Bend. I've been getting into scrapbooking, just like our memories and like our core memories, and I feel like it's been super fun. And him and I, we like to do a lot of camping, we like to do a lot of hiking, and he got me like one of those little Kodak Instamax like printers. I want to do like a travel journal for us, like something for like our grandkids to be able to look back on all our little adventures, you know. So I wanted something to be able to do that with, and this is just like gorgeous. Those are all the books that I got. These are the ones that I got today. Like I said, they're all really small. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about all these books. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and hanging out with Hachi and I. I may be back, we'll see, but I just had to share all these books with somebody. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some maybe ideas for your next book haul or what you plan on reading next. So if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you would give it some support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
You sleepy?